If you had a chance, what superpower would you like to have? 99% of people choose to be invisible. If you had invisibility, what would you do? Invisibility is a superpower that everyone wants to have. And suddenly it fell into the body of a boy during a period of hormonal growth. Guess what he would do? The main character is a boy in puberty and his name is Michel. In class he was often bullied by his friends. Not only did Michel get stolen by his friends' money he used to buy the Spider-Man suit on Halloween, but they also used guns to prank him, making him a joke in class. His school life was extremely miserable. Fortunately, he still has his own hobby, which is to steal Stella. One day, he could not help but pull out his phone and capture the Stella. But the teacher discovered and confiscated the phone at that time. That made him a joke for the students of the whole school. Halloween is coming, but he only had a little extra money left. In the end, he could only buy cheap Halloween costumes, so he didn't want to go to the costume party anymore. Fortunately, his mother as a prosecutor promptly encouraged him. Michel went to the party. While he was talking to Stella, the fat boy and the skinny boy surreptitiously copied the video recorded on Michel's phone and played it at the party. The atmosphere became strained. Michel lost his face again. He only had to hide in the toilet. He looked at himself in the mirror and prayed helplessly. He hopes to have invisibility. Outside the window a strong wind blew. Thunder and lightning rang out, as if the heavens actually heard his prayers. The next day he woke up to find out that he had actually turned invisible. He has invisibility. It wasn't long before he was amazed when he became excited. A bold plan began to be hatched from here. When he arrived at school, he accidentally saw the fat boy holding a paint gun to school. The boy then decided to use his superpower to take action. He immediately took off his clothes and slipped into the classroom. Then, Michel shot his gun onto the board. The teacher was angry, directly talking about this with the principal. Then he appeared at the soccer field the skinny man was playing, causing him to lose face at that crucial moment. In the dressing room, the skinny man was terrified by the boy's prank. After his revenge was over, he even snuck into the girls' changing room. The wonderful sight in the female locker room made him fall in love. But now a carpet was covering him. His heart rate is constantly increasing. Because of that, his invisibility disappeared. His mother was saddened by her son's act of sneaking into the female locker room. But she did not rebuke him, but only gently comforted her son. After a while, the boy found out that he often had nosebleeds. At this time, the mother received a phone call. The skinny boy, Michel's classmate, suddenly disappeared. Recently there are many missing children. What these kids all have in common is that they leave behind a video or word strip. That made people think that, because of psychological problems, the kids left home. But all is not that simple. When a psychologist comes to school to give psychological counseling to the students, Michel discovers that he has begun to become invisible again. So he panickedly left the school. Because he was unintentional, his sister knew about his secret. He had to say it all to his sister. Then the mother came home. He overheard his mother talking on the phone. He discovered he was only adopted by his mother. He could not calm down, immediately ran to the beach. Here he met Stella. She doesn't seem to be afraid of his invisibility. She considers this a secret between the two. Then Stella left the beach to attend sports training. The day after class, Michel saw Stella drawing the smiley face he left on the sand on the notebook. This makes him very happy. That evening, the boy, ignoring the cold weather, went to Stella's house. He deliberately lowered his voice, using a gentle voice to make Stella open to him. The distance between the two is getting closer. But at this crucial moment, his heart began to beat rapidly. His invisibility quickly disappeared. Because he didn't want to expose himself and quickly jumped out the window to go home. His smart sister soon found out his feelings for Stella. So she always urged him to confess. Under the encouragement of his sister, he finally went to the stadium where Stella practiced. But when he got there, he saw an unbelievable scene. Stella was knocked unconscious and a man carried her on his shoulder. Michel became indignant. He stormed without caring about it all. But his small body is no match for that man. Stella kidnapped unknown whereabouts. This made Michel extremely worried. He went to the beach again. There, he met a blind man. He saw that Michel was confiding. After greeting him, Michel learned an unbelievable truth. This blind man was unexpectedly his father. It turns out that in an accident 10 years ago, the lucky ones who survived had superpowers. Because of taking advantage of these superpowers, an organization has captured these supernatural people. And at the same time conducting secret research on them. Due to overuse of superpowers, many people lost part of their power. Blind man who have the ability to read other people's thoughts are also one of them. Although the supernatural people are not born, but the blind man along with a supernatural person gave birth. And that person is Michelle. To protect Michelle, the two escaped from the research room. But in the process of escaping, the girl was killed. Because of protecting their son, the blind have found a reliable place to put their children. It is a prosecutor who is desperate to have children. Then, the blind hand over the suit for the supernatural person to the prosecutor. This suit will be adjusted based on the skin changes of the disabled. From there they will be invisible together with the supernatural person. At this time, an old man was fishing on the side of the beach thinking that the blind man was a crime in child trafficking. He immediately reported the police. The blind man had to use his power to erase the old man's memory. After the blind man left, Michelle's adoptive mother arrived. At that time she came with the psychologist. They decided to take Michelle home. Michelle saw the psychologist's wrists being bandaged. He immediately found out the man who kidnapped Stella was him. Being exposed does not panic the psychologist. He calmly went to arrest the boy who was hiding in the kitchen. Because of his weak experience, Michelle was constantly being dispelled by his opponent. Fortunately, he met the fat boy by the river. So the boy urged the fat man to quickly take him out of there. Then the fat man learned of Michelle's secret. And Michelle also understands the psychological damage of the fat man. The two reconcile and decide to go save Stella. Elsewhere, the researcher found that she was not the supernatural person they were looking for. So Stella was taken to the cell with two other kidnapped children. Stella came up with a plan. With the help of the other two boys and her gymnastics, she climbed the window. She used the headlights on the high tower to signal a smiley face. Michelle saw the light printed on the clouds. So he went to the tall tower with the fat boy. At this time, Stella was discovered by the guard. The fat boy used a paintball gun to cause chaos for Michelle to successfully sneak inside. With his invisibility, Michelle quickly saved Stella and two other boys. As the other two boys were about to leave, Stella demanded to go save the others imprisoned here. So Michelle let the other two escape first. Michelle and Stella go to save the others. What happened later made him extremely surprised. It turned out that the old man in front of him was the one behind everything. He is also part of that organization. He has the power to control the thoughts of others, whether it is the psychologist or Stella, they are his subject of control. He also told Michelle that his mother was only slightly injured. Now she is still alive and waiting to be reunited with Michelle. But in the boy's heart, the prosecutor is his mother. No one can replace her. Elsewhere, the blind sense a boy is in danger. He immediately went to the prosecutor. The two of them set out together and found the fat guy hovering there. At this point, the old man's submarine had left. The explosive device is also started. Before the bang countdown time ends, the prosecutor has saved two children locked in the train compartment. She even saved that controlled psychologist. Time was extremely urgent. They quickly ran to the main road. But Stella is about to be taken into the water. In the end, Michelle is also strong and powerful with superpowers that are always confined to him. In the submarine fell into chaos. Michelle took the opportunity to escape with Stella. They successfully jumped into the water. But all who were present saw Michelle with his invisibility. The blind man, protecting his son, secretly erased all memories of the people present. The prosecutor saved 3 people, but she couldn't remember what happened either. But even so, she still had the honor she deserved. At the same time, she became the hero of the whole city. Facing the person he likes, Michelle is no longer as nervous and frail as before. He bravely stepped forward hoping to have a new start with Stella. The film ends. If you had invisibility, what would you do? Thanks for watching. Bye.